All right, all right, I believe Orange Sports Network. Such a time as this, we're midway into the season. If you notice, I got a hoodie on. Fall weather has hit us. It's supposed to get down about 38 tonight. I think prayers go out to Asheville and stuff. I think it's supposed to have a frost up there. So we got a lot to talk about. We haven't been on for the last 2 weeks simply because the internet was down here in Spartanburg County for most of us. Mine just came on Friday, so there's no internet, no podcast. But we're back up and running, and things are fairly getting up to normal. I was telling Rob earlier, I've never seen anything like this in my life in this part of Spartanburg, Greenville, Anderson, Clemson. Just something like out of a movie. And even today, I was taking a back road from the store through a neighborhood, and they got trees stacked up like 10 feet up in the air through these neighborhoods. Still, you got houses you can see that are ruined. So prayers go out to family members and people that are going through this, especially our brothers up in Asheville and Western North Carolina. Just a lot to talk about. I've been listening to the Roar a lot lately. Of course, they're talking about the breast cancer awareness. Dabo's All In Fund. They're raising a lot of money. We also do something for I Bleed Orange. It's a pink shirt. If you go to IBleedOrangeClub.com and go to our shop, if you buy one of those shirts, we get 15% of the Dabo All In Fund. They're also they're telling everybody to wear pink to the game, the noon game in Death Valley. So he's just amazing. They're talking about where they've come from when they started that to where they are now, and just the amount of money they raise. His wife is a survivor, and his wife's sister died from it. So you probably know somebody in the family or somebody in the family tree or somebody you work with that's been affected by cancer.
Well, October is usually always the breast cancer awareness month. So, to anybody out there that has gone through it or has a family member going through it, best wishes. And to anyone, please donate. Please do what you can. And I know a lot of churches around the area are doing a lot of fundraising and volunteering to head to the mountain region to assist and help with hurricane relief, cutting down trees. I know my actual brother has been going to Lake Lure and helping with cutting down trees and clearing ways and whatnot. So anything helps, obviously. Whatever you can do can help, even if it's volunteering time.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Anyway.
So we've been on for a couple weeks because of the weather and whatnot, but we looked good against Stanford. We played, came out hot just like usual.
Yeah.
Wesco looked good, all that. Unfortunately, Wesco rolled an ankle apparently and was out for the Wake Forest game.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was why we had such a slow start against Wake Forest, but there for a while I was a little worried about how we were playing Wake Forest. That was why we had such a slow start against Wake Forest.
I'm sorry. Keep on talking. If you don't mind, talk for a second. I'm trying to get something lined up here.
But yeah, I just felt like we had a slow start against Wake Forest, and then we finally kind of got it turned on there towards the late second half of the game. We started to kind of pick it up a little bit. It was obviously different not having Wesco Jr. out there with that, deep attack that he has been bringing the last few games. We got Virginia coming into the house. And, I think I did not see the odds on that game, but I think they have us favored pretty high.
Seems like it's been 21 points the last couple of games. Sorry about that.
Virginia odds.
Technical difficulties on it. Still no. I'll straighten it out later.
Hold on. Let me see what we got here.
We trying to find us running on YouTube.
We are a 21.5 point favorite. So I think, if we can come out like we have the last few games and just stay hot, be consistent, play Clemson football and, not let those little mistakes, just like Dabo always says, don't let Clemson beat Clemson.
Exactly. And the next game's the game you're playing is the most important game. Sorry about it. I got a little distracted with the internet down and everything. Some of the YouTube stuff's not streaming. I think we can get it worked out. But So just real quickly before we get into football, we got a lot to talk about. This is the show is actually brought to you by JRM Thrift Stores Ministries. Couple that actually came up from Jamaica. They were affected by, speaking of hurricanes, they signed up right during the hurricane. They didn't have power, actually doing the paperwork and there was no power, which is kind of ironic for the upstate. They started it from Jamaica and they moved the business up here and they raised money for families down there. They also got a place in Greenwood. They got if you're coming into Pendleton, right before you get to the post office there at Sandy Springs, there's a big old store, and they actually got some nice stuff in there, some good deals. And they also, part of that money goes, it's a nonprofit, part of that money goes to families or couples trying to start out and buy houses. So they do a lot of cool stuff in there. And also Columbus Pizza, Chicago Pizza, only been in business for like 35 years in the Clemson area. So they're doing something right. Deep dish Chicago pizza. It's great, great pizza. If you like the deep dish Chicago style, they're over there in Clemson. They came on last year and they were renewed. And Mark, the owner, they're actually, we got some little buttons or whatever you call them that we're passing out. They're doing a voting. So we're going to try to vote them in for the best pizza in Clemson. Also, who else? Wake and Bake renewed. Wake and Bake, we're going to do a tailgate for the Carolina game. Hopefully that's not a noon game, but I went by there last weekend. They renewed and they want to do the USC game. So I believe I mentioned most of the sponsors. We got Color Chaos. We're always talking about them. They do a lot of sharing on our page. Neat little place to go by. You've seen some of the videos that we've done, some of the videos. And Imagine Studios, they actually go to all the games and they do the band. And Chris actually played in the band. His dad played in the band, but they travel with the team and they get on the field and take band pictures and stuff like that. But he also has a studio where he does weddings, graduations, stuff like that, portraits. He also does logos and stuff. Not just Clemson, Carolina, Panthers, you name it. He can put a big old logo. Pretty neat little business he's got. So check them out on our website, IBOTheOrangeClub.com. And so another thing, Pendleton Candy Company, I'm going to go ahead and say this because I'm 99% sure we're going to do this. We're going to do like a live show in the middle of the week, like twice a month until Christmas, and get all the small business owners in there, like sometime during the middle of the day or whatever, and do like a little live shout-out show there in Pendleton. I got a neat – if you ever get a chance to go to Pendleton downtown, it's a neat little place. It's got a little circle and got all small businesses in there. And we got about 4 or 5 sponsors in there. So we're excited about – business is growing, actually. And so we're excited where I Bleed Orange is going. And I just talked to Mike, and we got 4 or 5 people that we all want to do a golf tournament in April. And it won't be so daggum hot. I know you like the heat. I don't. Or maybe you don't like the heat, but we'll do it a little bit cooler.
I love it being hot. This weather change right now, it's got my sinuses all messed up right now. I'm all clogged up right now. And
really, I actually got shorts on under this hoodie. I'm wearing shorts and a hoodie.
Yeah. I've got a t-shirt and shorts on right now. And like I said,
I love this.
This weather changing it's really messes with my sinuses. I like it when it just stays, the 70s and the 80s. I don't mind being hot. I'd rather be hot than cold. I feel like I can make myself cooler than I can make myself warmer. But
right,
So looking at upcoming games, injuries, whatnot. Tyler Brown. Apparently he's had a high ankle sprain, and that's why he's been out for the last few games. They are debating, not official, but they are debating possibly redshirting Tyler Brown. It is an option for him to redshirt.
How bad is his ankle?
Well, apparently it was a high ankle sprain, and they did what's called a let's see, I just had it here. They did what's called a tightrope surgery, and that was to try and accelerate his healing process. And it said that he had plateaued, and they are looking to get him into better health. Hopefully, an open date, he will respond really well, Sweeney said. So they did a little thing called a tightrope surgery to try and accelerate his healing process. So. Okay. But it is possible that Tyler Brown will be redshirted.
Really?
And I mean, we do have a pretty good receiving core. Even without him, I think we're pretty okay in the receiving department.
Brian Wesco.
You got Wesco, you got Antonio Williams, you got Stellato, you got TJ.
They're all having a good season, yeah.
The receiving core has been really good. Surprisingly, talking about the receiving core, and I throw the tight ends in there with the receiving core. Brenningstool has dropped a lot of passes lately that has surprised me. I mean, like dead in his hands, like dropped them.
Yeah.
I just did not expect to see a lot of drop passes from him, but So Tyler Brown, he might be. I think he is definitely out for the Virginia game from what it looks like. Wesco had a rolled ankle and did not even travel with the team to Wake Forest. He has been listed as day-to-day. So we may see him against Virginia. I would probably say that he won't start against Virginia because they'll probably see how the game goes to see if they even need to use him.
Yeah. Well, we've been playing okay. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I could see where they're like, hey, we're not going to press our luck on this. And if we don't need him, we're not going to put him in.
All right, keep talking. I figured all this technical stuff out.
Yeah, no worries. So
I'm just trying to get everything.
Those are a few of the injury updates. Obviously, we saw number 11 back out there last week. It was good to see him back. And his name just completely went out my head. Peter Woods.
Did you see
Peter Woods?
He
was back last week.
Did you see where he came in on that short run? And I thought for a second they're going to do another refrigerator, Christian Wilkins up the middle, and they had him in there to block. Man, I want before the season's over with, I like to see him get the ball and do that. There's nothing more special than the big guy getting the ball.
It's the Dabo getting back to Dabo. Back when we were having fun with our offense, and you had Christian Wilkins in the backfield, and you had Dexter Lawrence back there. I like that he's bringing back that little old school feel with.
What about that Antonio Williams? It wouldn't really call
Peter Woods
and they tossed the ball. They're doing that razzle dazzle we've been talking about. They tossed the ball out to Antonio Williams. He threw a perfect pass in the end zone. I love stuff like that.
Like I said, I think it's good to see what they're doing. I feel like it's Dabo.
They've opened up the playbook.
It's like they're kind of using that playbook again, like opening it up, not being so basic and so vanilla.
Not being so vanilla and stale like we talked about. And Dabo said after the Georgia game, he's like, look, we're going to open a playbook and it's either going to be, is it going to work or not? And it seems to be paying off. We're winning pretty decisively. We've been on a roll. Offense is looking good. Cade got the ACC player again this week. That's 2 times this year.
Cade is I think Cade he's literally got his confidence back. He's got more confidence in his offensive line to give him the time that he needs. Last year this time, I'd have to go back and look at the stats, but if I'm not mistaken, he had 5 interceptions by this time last year, if not more.
He's only got 1 now.
He's only got 1, and that was in the Georgia game. Honestly, truly, that interception that he threw, that was just a miraculous play by the defender.
It was.
He was falling back, catching the ball in the air as he was falling back. You can't.
Yeah, that was really in the Georgia game.
The quarterback on that. He throws the ball to his guy.
Yeah. But
Cade looks good. He's looking.
They're in talking. I was listening to the war. They're talking about the Heisman, but the thing that's hurting them is weak schedule is what they keep talking about. But no, he's playing solid. He's dropping dimes. He's consistent. He's rolling out. He's running the ball. He's
making better decisions.
And we don't ever talk about this. You got to, with the offensive line and the new coach there, offensive line is blocking a lot better.
Yeah. He's like I said, he's making better decisions.
And making better decisions. He's getting more time too. So anyways, I just got bigger. Somebody just said hi. Hey, Ashley.
That's what she said, right?
That's Well, that's just what they were saying, his numbers, and you got to understand the Appalachian State game, he only played half game, and the following game, the NC State game, he only played half game. But he's consistent, man. He's got his confidence, so it's looking good. Yeah. So anyhow, C.J. Spiller, Dabo, one of his first recruits, 5-star recruits. He was 16 years old when Dabo met him. He was talking about on the war, and also his first Ring of Honor. He got voted in for the Ring of Honor. High school college Hall of Fame. And what's interesting, when we play Virginia, a lot of people don't know this, we're playing against Tony Elliott, who used to work for Dabo. You remember Tony Elliott? So that's Virginia's coach right now.
Yeah.
So
don't look past Virginia. I mean, Virginia has a high probability to come in here and give us a run for our money. I mean, you got Tony Elliott. He knows our system. He knows what we're going to do. I mean, he can easily give us a good run for our money.
Yeah. Well, like Vanderbilt, Alabama. Don't look past Vanderbilt. Look what happened there.
Yeah,
so any given Saturday. I mean, it is a home game.
Speaking of Vanderbilt, I mean, is it a downfall of Alabama, or was it Vanderbilt actually playing well? I mean, because you go right here to last week, Carolina. I mean, they should have beat Alabama.
They should have beat Alabama. They should have beat LSU. They should, and they really did beat Alabama. They just some stupid plays. I mean, that missed field goal. And then I thought the game was over. I was sitting watching down there at Freight Yard. I was going to get something to eat, and I heard everybody get up and yell because they did an onside kick and they called timeout. Everybody started yelling. I mean, your chances of getting an onside kick are like
high enough.
7%.
But a lot of people will say that the play calling after the onside kick, they kind of lost that. They should have done some better play calling and whatnot.
The quarterback, the guy was wide open in the end zone. The corner of the end zone, Wilt Chamberlain wouldn't have caught that ball. But anyhow, I usually don't pull for Carolina, but I told everybody
I don't ever pull for Carolina unless it benefits us, and anybody taking Alabama benefits us, in my opinion.
I'm not a big Bama fan, so.
But in my opinion, I still just don't understand how we get number 10 and then how we've stalled out. Like, we beat Wake Forest
49-14 too. I mean, we're supposed to
14, and it's like we don't move up one spot after all these top teams kind of falter. And
thank God,
Tennessee going into overtime. You got Alabama almost losing to South Carolina. You got Oregon losing, or Ohio State losing to Oregon. How is it that we not move up one spot? Just one spot. I would have been happy.
Also,
just even
I don't know.
Spot, I would have been happy.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I was a little disappointed. I thought one spot. Ohio State went down. That was a great game. They had some good football, some good games.
Well, we now know that what happens when Ohio State actually plays somebody. I mean, look at their schedule. They literally not played anyone until last week.
Yeah, and Oregon looks good. Oregon looks good. Of course, they played in Oregon.
I mean, Oregon looked good. I mean, granted, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Ohio State's a bad team, but it's just like they finally played someone of caliber, and it was a close game. It was a good close game. It was a fun game to watch.
They haven't played anybody yet.
Yeah,
so we played Oregon.
It's all about play and focus. Exactly.
1978, I believe it was 78. Me and Dad and Mom, we're all down at Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, and Woody Hayes.
Yeah,
I've never been a Buck Nut fan since, and they pulled him over the sideline. When the game was over with, man, and he threw that interception, came over and bam! And I didn't realize, man, like until a year ago, John Belushi and Saturday Night Live did a skit on that. Did you ever see that?
I don't think I have, actually. I
Belushi,
John Belushi, though.
It was him and Gilda Radner, and Bill Murray was interviewing him. It was like on the news thing they had. This is a classic SNL days, and they're like, Belushi's out there playing they're playing chess, and he's playing with Gilda Radner. He goes, I kind of got let my emotions get a little too much. I mean, got a little out of hand. I shouldn't have done that. And I apologize to the Clemson fans, and I really shouldn't have done that. Gilda, they just keep on talking, and she goes, checkmate. He goes, he starts throwing the table and everything. Throws it up like he'd calm down and lose his temper. I didn't know that Saturday Night Live did a skit on that, but you Google it, man. It's pretty funny.
Oh, that is funny. But yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, Oregon's probably going to run the Big Ten this year.
Yeah, I think so. Pause in there for a little bit. Yeah, I think so. But Texas is looking really, really, really good. Where'd you go? Rob. Ross Rob. Got to talk for a while. You back, Rob?
Hold on.
I don't see your photograph. There you go. So anyways, waiting on Rob. So Texas is looking good. They're playing Georgia. That's going to be a good game, Ashley. I don't know where Rob went, but that's all right. I'll just talk for a while. So anyways, we're halfway through the season. Rob's had a little technical difficulty. Hopefully he'll get back on. So noon game kickoff, breast cancer awareness, wear your pink. Dabo and everybody, I Bleed Orange, everybody's raising money for the cancer awareness on the Roar today. They've been talking about it all day long. So also, if you go to us, IBleedOrangeClub.com and go to the shop, 15% of all proceeds that you buy with a pink shirt will go to the Dabo All In Fund. You're back. Usually it's me when I'm over in Clemson. You lose me because.
Yeah, I think one of the wires on the camera was just wiggled loose or something.
He's like Woody Hayes. Yeah, Woody Hayes was a jerk, what hole, and he was a coach for Ohio State, one of the most winningest coaches they had, and he hit a Clemson player and on live television.
I will always remember that Clemson is the reason he got fired.
yeah. And the guy he hits named Charlie Balknight and Balkman, and he came into I Bleed Orange about 3 or 4 years ago. And I'm like, dude, you're a freaking legend.
We got to get him on. I'd love to get his
side. We can get him on. I mean, him. We got Jerry. I just got the internet back on. We're gonna get some good guests on.
We've got to get that guy on. We've definitely got to get that guy on the show because I would love to hear his side of the story of that.
Well, I met Jerry Butler at Orange and White.
Yeah,
he's like, heck yeah, I'll get on. I met a lot of those guys over there. Well, we had KD Dunn on here. Remember him?
Yeah.
But Homer George said he didn't want to do it. He's about the only guy that said he wouldn't get on. I don't know why, but
I mean, I get it.
Homer's a legend.
Probably wants to just enjoy his retirement.
Yeah. Also, Jim Stuckey, he's in the group. We got a couple of legends in there. Get him on. Bostic. We need to get one of the Bostics on there. I actually last home game I was at, I actually ran across Joe Bostic and shook his hand. I've never met him in person. That's the first time.
I'd actually love to get Ben Boulware on here.
I've been trying to get Ben. Ben's actually coaching for Clemson. Yeah.
And those are the guys that are going to be a little tougher because they're restricted on what they can do, what interviews they can do, stuff like that. So I'd love to get him on.
Zeno, Chris, the second string, he asked to get on. He said he had to check the media laws and all they got. He actually inboxed me a couple weeks ago. I don't know if I told you that.
Yeah.
So anyhow, halfway through the season, he's to slow down. Been waiting for it all year, and all of a sudden we're halfway through.
I know. And, it's crazy how quickly
it goes too quick.
Once it starts.
Summer stalls out. It seems like it takes forever, and then it gets here and it flies by. It seems like we're just getting ready, running down there to the marina doing the Georgia game. But so interesting, kind of an interesting season so far. We got 12-team playoffs, which I'm excited about. It's going to give us more football. I'm excited to see how all this plays out. And we're at 10 now. If it had been a year or two ago, we'd be freaking out. We're at 10, but there's a chance. You got to be in the top 12, and it's looking like, unless something crazy happens, it's going to be Clemson and the Hurricanes, Miami, and the ACC championship.
It's crazy. We played 7 games already this season.
We ought to get about 5 or 6 of us up there to go to the ACC championship. Charlotte, that's right up your backyard there.
Yeah.
You ever been to one?
We got Virginia, and then we got Louisville, and then we go on the road. Hey,
when do we play Pittsburgh? November?
You need to mark your calendar for November 16th.
You coming down?
We are going to Pittsburgh, playing Pittsburgh, who is on fire right now. So we're gonna have to come with our A game. We're gonna have to come with an A game against that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to win out.
Pittsburgh's looking good. Virginia. So we got Virginia. We got Louisville. We got Virginia, Louisville, Virginia Tech, Pittsburgh, and then we got Citadel at home and South Carolina at home. And again, that's another team, South Carolina, man.
Yeah, I was talking to
Mike. Me a little worried this year.
I was talking to Mike a little earlier. I mean, South Carolina should have beaten LSU. They should have beaten Alabama, and they don't like us. And it's a rivalry game, whether any way you look at it. That game we are undefeated. We need to watch out for that game because we need to be a one-loss team going into the ACC championship. Texas, Georgia.
Look, I'm going to tell you right now, the final 12, you're going to see Oregon, you're going to see Texas, and those two teams right there could be our national championship game.
Could be. Texas is looking a step ahead of everybody.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Texas and Oregon, I think Texas would take them. I don't know. So.
Wait. Is this a dog fan in here? What's going on here?
He's a Clemson dog fan. She's been to a couple Clemson games.
Who let a dog fan in here?
Who let the dogs in? Hey, I don't have a problem with Georgia.
I'm telling you right now, we should have won that game against Georgia. I'm still telling you right now, we should have won that game.
We didn't have an offense. There you go again. Our offense did not show up for the Georgia game. We may have a rematch with Georgia. I don't know.
I think so.
The offense, I think maybe it's a good thing we lost. You still there? Can't see you.
Yes, something's. I think I got a wire loose somewhere.
We've been down for 2 weeks. You lose power or anything?
No, I didn't lose power at all.
You're only about 80 miles.
I got a loose wire somewhere in the stuff.
Dude, it looked like a war zone over in Commerce Heights. I've never seen anything. I thought I was in a movie or something. I was like, this isn't happening. I mean, in Spartanburg, South Carolina, it looked like a bomb went off. All over. It's crazy.
The western side of the state is they definitely got hit hard. You guys on your side got hit hard. We did get some wind and we did have some trees come down. But nothing close near what you guys got over there.
Big old oak trees. I mean, these oak trees and we got so much rain even before. And I go out on walks on the sidewalk and I'm like 12 feet up in the air of roots. I mean, we're talking about oak trees that have flipped over and you stand up to their roots and it's like 12, 13 feet up in the air. These oak trees are 100, 200 years old and they're gone and on top of people's houses. And they're talking on the news today in Spartanburg County. They had somebody works for the county or whatever and said it could be January before they get all this stuff cleared up.
Yeah. Welcome, Kevin, from
Ron. You've been with us since the beginning of I Bleed Orange, since like the beginning. I remember sending you. You still got your I Bleed Orange shirt, Kevin? You remember sending you one? But yeah, it's funny. I'll run across people all the time, like you're the I Bleed Orange guy, or I see somebody at a game with an I Bleed Orange shirt on. Like,
speaking of, how did that go with the I guess a couple or a guy and a son wanted to come tailgate last week and was wanting to meet up with you? Did that go? How did you?
Talking about the guy who had cancer?
Something like that. I just saw the feed on the Facebook page about it. Were you able to meet up with those guys?
You talking about a month ago?
No, this was for the last game.
The last game.
It was a whole thing. I want to say it was a guy and his son or a woman.
You talking about Randy Flynn and all them? I met up with them.
They said they were coming down for the first time and wanted to meet you, get a picture with you, and tell.
No, they're coming down. They want to meet me and get a photograph. They're coming down.
Yeah, was that not for the last game?
The next game, not this game. The next game.
Oh, was it for the Virginia game?
Yeah, I told them. I gave her my number.
Okay.
They're gonna be down there, and I said, well, "Just call me when you get in there, and we'll do a little Photoshop or whatever." And I'm gonna give them a shirt. Ask her what size shirt she wore.
All right.
Shirt for the kid and all that stuff. That's cool.
Yeah. Definitely. you know, talking about previous guests and whatnot.
We've had some good ones. We're gonna get back on it.
The most fun I had on a show was with Taj Boyd's mom.
Oh yeah, we got to get her back on. And we got to get when football season's over. We got to get Taj on. I know Taj. Her mother thanked me like 100 times. She was fun. We've had a lot of fun. Ben Hall was fun. Yeah. Grayson's been great. We've had
Taj's mom, man. She was just a hoot to have on here, and to get that mother's perspective of recruiting.
Yeah.
And then I know she said she's writing another book.
Yeah.
And she's getting with.
I'll tell you what. If I can't get anybody on next week, I'll get her on. We'll have her back on.
I'd love to have her back on for sure.
And I like that guy, Richard, the professor who played for Clemson, who broke his neck. Remember him?
Oh yeah.
He was good. Yeah, that was an incredible story. I saw he was at the Orange and White. He was at the sign-on dinner or whatever we had over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was an amazing story, man. He could have been paralyzed, and he had all the
Yeah, he got that from a car accident.
They basically said
that was from a car accident.
Yeah, he was going to practice and flipped the car coming back in a rainstorm. Broke his neck. He said, that was Christian Wilkins' days. That was the days of Christian Wilkins and all those guys. He was ever eating dinner somewhere off Pelham coming around that thing, and swerved to miss a car and flipped over. And they came and got him out. He said the team hung out with him. And then he took that year off and he came back and he had kind of got re-injured. The doctor said, you don't need to play anymore. And I bought his book. He's written a book. He's got some inspirational books. He's actually a professor at Clemson. But I got his book here at the house, and a great story. So he went on to teach and motivate kids and stuff.
Yeah.
But he would have been like
he was good to talk to. I enjoyed talking to him. But like I said, Taj Boyd's mom was just a hoot to talk to, and it was kind of fun. It was kind of nice to see Taj Boyd kind of do a little give us a little wave when he came in.
Yeah, I met Taj when I first started I Bleed Orange, the freight yard. We were going to go. I'm not going to the game Saturday. I decided to stay in Spartanburg. It's a noon game. So the freight yard, when we won, Trevor Lawrence won that first year. Was it 16 or 17? No, Trevor won just won with us. No, it was when Deshaun won, I think. I just started I Bleed Orange.
Yeah, I think it was 2016?
Yeah, and Kenneth Cribb owns Freight Yard, and I got talking to him, and he says, why don't we do an I Bleed Orange national championship party at Freight Yard? We did it. We were doing it in like February, and then weather wouldn't permit, so we ended up doing it in like March, and they promoted all over Spartanburg. Taj came down there. Steve Fuller came down there. The mascot came down there. That's when I met Taj.
Yeah.
A couple of pictures with him. Remember old Steve Fuller?
Oh, yeah.
He lived 4 houses down from me. He went to Spartan High. He grew up in Spartanburg. And he lived like 4 or 5 houses down from me growing up. And I didn't even have a driver's license. I had this little grass cutting business. And my dad used to put the lawnmower in the car and drive me down, to make money during summer. And I used to cut Miss Fuller's grass. And at the time, so this is like in the 80s. At the time, he was playing for, I believe it was the Chiefs. And I wonder, I drive by the house every once in a while. I wonder if she still lives there, if she's still alive. But she has some of the best sweet tea in the world. We sit there and say, get out of that hot heat and come have some tea. And we sit in her living room and talk about Steve in Clemson. But I heard Steve actually lives in Hilton Head now. And I think he's in real estate, but he actually coaches high school football down there.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was one of the better quarterbacks we had in the beginning. I mean, go back in the day. But, yeah, he's coaching. Yeah. He's coaching.
I remember Steve Fuller a little bit. It was fun to watch him.
Yeah, late 70s.
Yeah.
Like the catch.
I mean, I only got to watch him in replays and old – I don't know. I have this, knack that I like to go and watch old-time games that I as a kid growing up, I was born in 79. So anything prior to that and anything to about maybe 85, 86 is what I start to remember the real games. But, I like to go back and watch those games. Like I've watched the, 81 Orange Bowl
the game
numerous times.
right
I like
before
watching
Danny
some
Ford
older
came on
games,
board.
you know.
Yeah, Steve Fuller and them. I mean, because Dad, it seemed like we went to Gator Bowl like 2 or 3 times there. Tony Dorsett, remember him? He played for Pittsburgh. I remember going down there with Dad, Mom, and I don't know. I think my brother didn't go. There's 3 of us, but Tony Dorsett actually played for Pittsburgh. We all know who he is. That was like 76 or something. And but we went down to Gator Bowl like 2 or 3 times down in Jacksonville. I feel like we went to Gator Bowl like 3 times in the 70s.
Yeah.
And Charlie Pell was the coach. And I remember one time driving up, all the hotels were booked. We ended up in Beaufort, South Carolina, staying at my aunt's house. So we couldn't find a hotel. But no, that was like the era right before Danny Ford came on board. I mean, Danny Ford came on board, Charlie Pell, and then Danny Ford came on board. And then all of a sudden, nobody expected it out of nowhere. We won that national championship, and they're on ESPN talking about Clemson being in North Carolina. And they weren't even pronouncing it right. They're called Clemson.
Yeah. I was probably – I've told this story before, but I was probably like 7 years old. My dad takes me into, at the time, I believe it was Eckerd's.
Eckerd's, right, yeah, that's old school there.
Right there on that main strip that all the stuff is on. Like, when you're going down the main road, going towards Seneca, you turn left, you go down into the main town, but you stay on that main road right there. And there was a strip center, and there was an Eckerd's or whatever. And we're in there, and we're on this aisle, and my dad's looking for something. I don't know. And he kind of elbows me. He looks, and he points, and he goes, "You know who that is?" And I looked, and I went, "That's Danny Ford." And he's standing there with his John Deere hat looking.
He was the man.
He had the overalls on and a big thing of like chew in his mouth.
He's out there, man. He's like 30. He's one of the youngest coaches there. He didn't play around, man. He got that chew in his head.
Well, that's what's funny. Like, this was mid '80s at least. And
I still see Danny goes to all the games. Tailgates right over there in the West End Zone.
I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, I'm in awe because this is the guy I see on TV, and
he's the guy who broke the barrier.
My dad says hello to him. Yeah. And he turns around, he says hello, and he looks at me and he goes, "What's your name?" And I told him, and he just like, "You gonna play football with that big chew?" He's like, "You gonna play football?" And I was like, "I play football right now, sir."
Yeah, I love that.
He was such a humble guy. Like, you could.
He tells it like it is. He shops.
Well, just the fact that he's standing in the middle of an Eckerd's in overalls. Like,
where did you see it? That's when you were living down at Clemson. When you used to live down that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He's still, like I said,
like Columbus
he just came off the farm.
I see him like I've met him several times before the game. I use that in the orange and white thing too, but he tailgates right over by the West End Zone. But Columbus Pizza, I was talking to Mark, the owner. He comes in there like once or twice a month, all the time. But yeah, Danny made it possible. He broke the barrier that Clemson could actually win it out. The thing about 1980 and 1981, we did that. We started the season out winning ranked.
Yep.
And I remember I went to about every home game and I remember going out on the field and Williams, the Fridge, and all those guys. But yeah,
I mean, that's when Georgia had Herschel Walker and
Walker.
Georgia was supposed to be like the powerhouse. Like Georgia was supposed to be like, no one's gonna beat Georgia, and we go in and beat Georgia.
Yeah, and then we had a hard time with Citadel. We won the national championship. Herschel Walker is probably one of the best players ever played.
Yeah, he was good. That guy was definitely one of those generational guys.
Yeah, he used to race trains and stuff. I mean, he grew up real poor, real humble. He was a beast.
And it's funny, like, Clemson back then, you had Steve Fuller, you had Homer Jordan, you had those generational quarterbacks. And then we got nothing for quarterback for a while. And I know a lot of guys want to say Charlie Whitehurst, but I just feel like Charlie Whitehurst wasn't the it guy. Like, I don't feel like he
was the guy. And then you had Trevor.
Well,
I knew from the start. I don't know how I knew. I kept following Deshaun.
Out of my head. Who was the guy that was playing right before Deshaun Watson?
Cole Stout.
Cole Stout.
Yeah.
It was like he was this like mediocre, like what's going on? And then you bring in Deshaun, and Deshaun like shows us life. Yeah. And then Sean gets hurt.
Well, you remember he came into
the bowl game, and this was the bowl game against Oklahoma.
Yeah, and he lit it up.
And he just came out of nowhere, like
nowhere.
Where did you come from? Like, where's this quarterback been all year?
He played a heck of a game. He
did.
He threw so many interceptions. I mean, everything was like interception. 3 or 4.
I knew somehow. Deshaun Watson, of course, took over the next season and showed us exactly why we recruited him.
I started following him when he was in high school on the internet stuff, and I just knew that he was the man. And he came into that UNC game as a true freshman and threw 7 touchdowns.
Now, I'll say this, though, and this is kind of jumping to present time with Deshaun Watson.
He's not doing too.
I don't know what's going on with this guy.
I think it's mental, man.
Like I've seen
injury, all this, court
the video clip of him just like giving up on his team and walking off the sideline, like walking off, just going like, like I'm done. And a lot of people were saying like we don't blame him. I mean, he was sacked like 10 times, 7 times.
Yeah,
he's just like, why am I out here? Like, I don't know. It's just a weird.
It's not a good atmosphere over there.
It's not a Deshaun Watson that we had in Clemson.
Deshaun Watson. I mean, I think Trevor, as far as talent, was a generational. Deshaun, as far as like cats turning flips over here. Must be a fly in the house. Deshaun, if you're down by 2 or 3 touchdowns going into the fourth quarter, Deshaun was the man. Comeback guy, the guy you can rely on,
absolutely.
The guy that never gave up, the guy that played with one leg against Carolina when he came back off that injury. Trevor's just like generational talent, just born. I mean,
I feel like Trevor Lawrence needs to have a better quarterback coach in the NFL. Like, I just feel like him going to the Jaguars was just not the right fit for him. But, I don't know. It's like he had a great year last year, but now this year it's not so good. Like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know. Because he's got the talent.
I can't get over Deshaun. Like, his NFL career I'm flabbergasted by his career.
Well, injuries, legal problems. I mean, he just getting off.
But it's not the character that we've all known.
Yeah, I think it's mental, dude. We know he's got the talent. I just think he's not in it. Something's going on there. He just doesn't seem like he was a beast. He was like the Rocky for Clemson. He never gave up. He was like,
and with this whole off the field stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. Like, part of me doesn't want to believe it, but at the same time, when it keeps coming up, and you got like this many people saying this happened, it's kind of hard to like.
Well, he's got some more allegations. Yeah.
It's like it's hard to not believe, and that's why it's like it's so out of character for him, Yeah, it is. It is kind of sad. Because it's like you would think, like, okay, if he's doing this in the NFL, you got to believe that there was something going like this in college, but yet not one allegation has come from the college era.
Hey, he's a good-looking dude. He's got money. I don't understand. He's got money. He's a good-looking dude. I wouldn't think all he needs is to get him a girlfriend to be all right. But I don't know. That's kind of
it's crazy. Like it's just crazy the way it's kind of gone. But I really wish
kind of sad.
Come out of his funk, and I mean, he is at the Browns, and everybody says that's where as a quarterback, it's where you go to retire.
The Browns, they've had a glimpse of hope here and there, but they just can't seem to. It doesn't even get me. I'm just about NFL football, Dallas. God, oh Lord.
Yeah, Dallas is looking great this season.
Man, it is so hard to be a Dallas Cowboys fan, especially when you started out watching them in the 70s in the heyday. And when every Dallas fan knows what the problem is. It's not Dallas. It's Jerry Jones. It's not rocket scientists.
I'm a Panthers fan, and we're feeling it right now. I mean, this Tepper guy. I mean, he is
fire the damn coach. Get you a good coach.
He is literally destroying the Panthers.
Jerry Jones is the problem. Dallas has got more money than any other football team. Any other, not just football, basketball. They've done some research and had the net worth of the Cowboys, and they got way more money than any other team out there. You do whatever he wanted to, get the best coach, and he just wants control. And he just doesn't. I mean, Mike McCarthy is a subpar coach. I mean, Dak. Classic example. You got Derrick Henry, who lives in Dallas, wants to play for Dallas. He's a free agent this summer. And what does Jerry – and wants to play for him. What's Jerry do? Nothing. And he gets Zeke – calls Zeke back in, who's kind of washed up at the best from the Patriots. And then to rub it in her face, he goes to God, I forgot. He goes to the Baltimore Ravens and just runs all over us when we played them the other week. But it was a bloodbath. I don't know if you saw the game. I had to turn it off.
I saw a little bit of it.
It was a bloodbath. It was nasty.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like it's.
I turned up.
Jerry Jones literally just needs to be an owner.
Sit back. An owner. Well, I mean, it should want to win.
Money.
Good at making money, but he didn't know how to win football games.
Yeah.
I mean, who cares? At that point, you should want to win games, man. Yeah.
So, are you doing a live show this Saturday at all?
We're off this Saturday. Okay. We're going to be doing one or two next Saturday. I mean, the reason we're not doing it is, well, hurricane, but also it's a noon game. And I had tickets and I sold them, and I decided just to watch the game here in Spartanburg. We're going to have about 4 or 5 of us go to the next game, home game. Noon games, man. I've been to every game. I went to every home game last year. I've been to every home game this year. I decided, like yesterday, I got thinking about it. I said, I want to stay at home. By the time you get there, I mean, the whole thing about going to a game is the tailgating and hanging out with everybody a couple hours before the game. And the night games, I mean, even a 3:30 game would be good. But noon games.
I love the 3:30 games. It's not too late and it's not too early.
Noon games are all right if you're not going to the game. But if you go to the game, there's nothing fun about it.
I actually have a golf tournament this Saturday, so I'll probably be missing the first half of it. So hopefully, I'll be able to catch it.
You might have liked this game. We went to that NC State game, me and Mike, and it was so freaking hot, man. Miserable. But the weather's good, so hopefully Carolina.
No live show this week. Next week against Louisville. You got a live show.
I'm meeting Outback. I think the guy's going to go with it. Hopefully do a show. If not, Columbo's, Paragon, we want to get a show. We might have 2 shows. Oh, I did go by Anderson Ford last week, and they're like, yeah, what's up? I bleed orange. And they're like, yeah, we want to do a show. So it's just getting the lady from Greenville that does the marketing, cut a check and pick a game. So maybe we'll do a show at Anderson Ford. Car dealerships are a great place to do a show. They just, on a Saturday, if it's a night game, you go out there and got all the salespeople out there. It's like their busiest day. Yeah. Most of them love football. They know football, and it's buzzing on a Saturday. We did one of our best shows at Key of Anderson. We did a great show at Anderson Ford last year.
Yeah.
But
so no live show this week, but next week you're going to be for the Virginia or for the
it's a away game.
You are going to do a live show?
Yeah, I'll sell one. It's easy to sell them this time of year.
Okay.
We've actually done more shows this year than we've done because we've done 2. We've had 3 games. We've done 2 shows.
They haven't announced a time yet for the Louisville game, so hopefully it'll be a 3:30 game.
I hope so, or even a 7:00 game. This night, something about Death Valley at night, I love.
Yeah,
it's electric. Noon game, I don't love, especially if the first September was 95 degrees out there. It's miserable.
Yeah, the noon games are tough because my kid has baseball, and then like as soon as we're done with those, it's like we got to rush over here.
Well, me and Mike, we were on the NC State game. That game is 95 degrees. We decided we were going to be smart, so we instead of coming in the usual way, I said, well, let's just go over to Lake Hartwell. There's Tipsy Taco. We come back around the back way to where a parking place is, kind of near the SO clubs where we park. So as soon as we get about 50 yards from the SO club, cops are sitting there and reroute. We had to go all the way back around again.
Oh.
And they had changed it from where they did last year. I was like, man, we'll miss all that traffic. We'll go right over Lake Hartwell, make that first left at the red light. If you ever been in that area, but it comes in, you go in the back way where nobody really goes in the back way. And we were going fine until we got up and saw and Mike's rolling down his window. He said, let me talk to him. I said, you're not going to talk him out of this. He ain't going to let you go. He didn't let us go 50 yards to kind of curve around. He's like, no, you got to go all the way around perimeter. We had to go all the way around Little John back. It took us 45 minutes, an hour, and we barely made the game on time. And that's what you deal with in a noon game. Man.
Well, don't forget, you got to go to Golden Gate Parking and do your tailgating there.
That's true. That's true. I need to call him, see how it's going over there.
Yeah.
I mean,
so,
you got to bus.
For everyone out there, go hit JRM thrift stores and
Columbus
Pizza. You might see Danny Ford apparently in there, from what I'm hearing.
He's there like twice a month.
Check out Golden Gate Parking if you're going to the Clemson game this weekend at 12 o'clock versus Virginia, facing Tony Elliott. And don't
forget Wake and Bake.
Join us next Tuesday. We should be on next Tuesday for another live show to recap the Virginia game. Anything else you got, Josh?
Not really. Wake and Bake. We got Wake and Bake Bar and Grill in Anderson. You got Wake and Bake Breakfast Company going into Pelton. I mean, their food's good. The prices are good. It's just a neat little crew over there. Barbie and the crew run that thing. And we're going to do something down there for the Carolina game. Hopefully that's a night game.
Yep.
I can't remember back in the day, but I wish they'd just go ahead and announce all the games at the beginning of the season so you know what you're looking at. Now you just don't know until like that Sunday what time the game's going to be, and it kind of ruins plans. So
still disappointed in our ranking. I thought we should at least
Chevrolet Cavaliers.
It was a Chevrolet. We got to just keep winning, and we'll be all right. I mean, hey, we're in the top 10. We're in the top 10.
Yeah.
Keep winning, win it out.
Let's I don't see why we won't go to the ACC championship. That's right up your back alley, man. That's all. Let's get about 5-6 people up and get tickets and go to the ACC championship in Charlotte night game.
He said,
who are the Chevrolet Cavaliers? You know, some joke.
I don't know, but I think it's funny.
Is that they got a team? The car company.
I mean, I know Virginia's called the Cavaliers, but
the Chevrolet.
The Chevrolet
sponsor them or something. The Cavaliers.
Oh, that's funny.
We were trying to figure out what a demon deacon is. I mean, I know deacons in church, but they got demons. Somebody in church has demons. I don't know where they come up with that mascot.
Half these mascots, I'll never. I mean, look at Stanford.
Huh?
Look at Stanford. Their mascot is a freaking tree. It's a tree.
I know. What else?
I mean, there's a tree. It's a literal pine tree just running around the field like.
Well, I mean, Ohio State bucknuts, the Buckeye. It's a freaking nut. It's a nut. The thing is,
but
you eat.
I can get over the Buckeye being a mascot or whatever, but the tree just running around like a pine tree.
Hey, you know, I'm a big gorilla fan, and I was like, that's a great mascot, gorilla man. Yeah. Pittsburgh State Gorillas. They're no good, but that's their mascot. They got all the cheerleaders sitting around this gorilla. Some of these mascots they come up with are just hilarious. I mean,
I will never understand the whole tree mascot. I just don't get it.
Stanford. What is Stanford? What do they call Stanford?
That's all they're called is Stanford.
Stanford trees?
What
are they? I should know this.
They're just called Stanford.
They don't have like Clemson Tigers, Carolina Gamecocks. Stanford what?
No, their mascot is literally a tree.
God. Oh Lord, that's funny.
Look it up. Their mascot's a tree. They have a guy.
Is it something to do with lumberjack?
Stanford. And it's a tree with arms and legs. It runs around.
I saw that. I saw some things pop up like Stanford's. They're supposed to be a pretty well intelligent school to go there.
No, I'm not knocking the.
It's just tree. It is. It's right. I'm looking at it. It's just freaking tree.
It's literally a tree.
It's like something you see on one of them funny, like you're standing there, tree starts running.
Yeah.
Halloween movie.
I mean, at least Cal is the
Stanford tree. I mean, you can do better than that.
I mean, Cal, they're at least the Golden Bears.
It's called.
You got SMU Mustangs. At least they're all, they got the horse.
I'm looking at their mascot. I'm looking at it right now. It's like a tree, almost like a Christmas tree, except it's red and green. It's got a hat on. It's got legs. Guy running around. That's just terrible.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They might have been smoking some of that wake and bake when they come up with that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, and hey, look, I'm not knocking Stanford as a program at all. I mean, that's where Christian McCaffrey came from, and they were good. They used to have a really good team. Was it Jim
Lions, Tigers, Bears? Those are all good mascots. Trees and nuts and some of these.
Wasn't it Jim Harbaugh was the coach there?
Yeah, one time. We got Wolverines. Let's see who else they got. They got a lot of weird mascots you can think about. So banana.
I know it was either Jim Harbaugh or the other Harbaugh, the brother.
Brother, yeah.
One of them was the coach at Stanford. That I know for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, close it out. Let's go Tigers.
Let's go Tigers. Beat the Cavaliers. The Chevrolet
Cavaliers.
Yeah.
And join us next week when we recap the beating of the Chevrolet Cavaliers.
All right. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
All right. Till next time. I'm going to end it. All right.